Michele Romanow, a Calgary-born, Chicago-based tech titan. She's 30 years old, but this e-commerce powerhouse already has a track record most veteran entrepreneurs could only dream of.
And if that wasn't enough, Michele Romanow has more accolades on her impressive CV Dragon. She's already halfway through her inaugural season and the youngest to ever join the Den. Here to reflect on her time, we were gabbing ahead of time. I think they caught us, Michele. I'm joined by Michele Romanow. So
wonderful to be here.
Thanks for coming in. You're one of the new dragons this season, the youngest dragon ever. Good on you.
Thank you.
What's it been like so far?
It's been really fun. I think more than anything, I get to be myself on television. I spent the last 10 years looking at businesses, evaluating business, starting a lot of different companies myself. And so to get to do that and then to get to find some great deals as a part of that has been wonderful for me.
That's really neat. So you've heard a lot of pitches. Let's talk about some of them that stood out for you the most. Let's have a look at this pitch from T-Dot Performance.
How much is it costing you an online ad spend to get that person?
Our cost per acquisition is $10.
Holy smokes.
So we know we can scale.
No, that's so good. Like, that's the type of online marketing you can scale all day long. The fact that you don't take inventory is super attractive. That is what kills all retail businesses is inventory, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We heard there what you liked about that business,
Yeah.
but what really piqued your interest about T-Dot?
It was so much more than that. We had two entrepreneurs that had basically started this business 4 years ago. They were as committed to this as possible. They had built it from scratch. I love self-funded entrepreneurs that found a good idea and just kept working to make it. These guys had done $10 million in revenue, and it was something that they were very focused on the space. They had already become the market leader, and I could use all of my expertise in digital marketing to continue to help them grow. That was a great deal for me.
That's great, and it's exciting. Like, you see the excitement from you and from them
Totally.
as well. Let's look at this fun one. This is a snowboard addiction.
Yeah.
This here is the Snowboard Addiction training board. These are our training bindings, and this is the Snowboard Addiction balance bar. So Bailey, an up-and-coming snowboard athlete for Canada, she's jumping around now on the Snowboard Addiction balance bar, so you can build the different muscle memory and techniques required for snowboarding. Now, Trevor's on the Snowboard Addiction training board.
Oh my God, that looks so much fun. Can I please do that next?
Okay, did you do that next?
No, they didn't let me get on the trampoline. I think they had some liability issues with me doing that. So then we went. Then I went to Whistler. I just was with Nev a couple weeks ago, playing with his products. But this again was an entrepreneur that had an awesome vision. He had been a snowboarder for 5 years, figured out how to build this awesome online audience. He's had something like 10 million YouTube views on his channel, and then started developing the products that it took to make him a good instructor.
That's really neat. It's just like, oh, we could do something like this, something very simple, and make big bucks out of it.
Yeah, well, knew his market well, right? There's millions of kids that want to learn to snowboard every year. You don't need a hugely complicated business with thousands of different items. This was do two things really well and do it all online.
That's great. So we're halfway through season 10. What can we expect from the remaining episodes?
Well, I think
more snowboard stuff?
I think there's a few more surprises in there in terms of the things we see. I do a lot of deals in tech and a couple that have been totally out of my own comfort zone. So I think you see a lot of that. You'll see a lot of back and forth between me and Jim. I probably take a little bit of a more new school approach, and he takes a little bit of an older school approach to investing. So it's going to be a fun season.
What surprised you most about being a dragon?
You know, that's a good question. I think just the crazy diversity of businesses I've gotten to see and all the different characters and entrepreneurs behind those.
So are you surprised by some of the things that they bring forward? It's like, hey, I would never have thought of that. Thank you for doing it.
And that's the magic of entrepreneurship, is never do you ever know all these little tiny niche industries. So someone will come in and they're like, yeah, I never thought that, teaching kids how to snowboard with 2 tools could be such an awesome business. Or selling auto parts online, when everyone usually gets auto parts at their repair place is a great business. So I think I like seeing all those different niches.
Just kind of thinking outside of the box. So for those people who think, oh, I've got this great idea, what type of tip would you give them? It's like, this is the one thing that you need to do to become successful.
The thing you need to do is you need to start. I meet so many people who actually are saying, you know, what education do I need? What other things do I need to get ready? There's no perfect plan to be an entrepreneur. You have to jump in with 2 feet. You got to say, I'm just going to commit to trying to make this work my very best. And that was the best advice I received. It was the reason I was successful is because I probably started when I was 19. So I had a lot of time to iterate. And so I think, you know, you start now, you work hard, and you're not afraid of failure. I always tell people, you know, I don't even tell people I'm starting a new business. I say I'm starting a new project. And because already when you've called it a business, it's too big to fail. If you call it a project, you're like, I'm going to take some experiments. I'm going to see if this works, and go from there.
One of the things, failing isn't always a bad thing.
Always. I always say to the other pitchers, for every one business I've created that's been successful, I've had 5 that have been complete and utter disasters. And that's the cycle. Just get comfortable with that. And the sooner you are, the more likely you are to take more risks.